spectacular news today from none other than the biggest Bitcoin bull out there, Michael Saylor, who says he will be selling $500 million worth of stock. Guess why? For operations? No, for Bitcoin. So recently, Michael has been really quiet, right? His last purchase of Bitcoin was like $10 million. I mean, his purchases were getting less and less and less. It seemed like basically they have no more cash on hand to be able to buy Bitcoin. So, they started doing smaller amounts. And then the last big one before that was when he put down collateral to buy Bitcoin, which brought a lot of controversy. Obviously, Michael Saylor is under some scrutiny right now due to the Attorney General from DC suing him for back taxes, for tax avoidance, basically. So he is in a little bit of troubled waters, I guess, although that $25 million they're seeking is nothing. He could pay that with his pocket change. But you know what? He's making a big splash. Like right now would be the time to be buying. At 18,000 or 17,000 would have been a better time to be buying, right? Because his average price is above $30,000. He did make a big purchase when Bitcoin was around $8,000 or $9,000, right under 10,000. But all of his purchase afterwards has been quite high. Some in the 40s and 50s, right? Brought his average up quite a lot. So purchasing right now towards the bottom is definitely a good thing, but he used to sell $500 million worth of shares. How's he going to do that? He publicly announced it already. So if you look at MicroStrategy stock, it's only about $3 billion, and that's after it went up tremendously on Friday because Bitcoin's pumped. Now people are thinking that, well, he has to sell $500 million, which is what? That's a large chunk, like 20% or so, maybe a little bit more than that. To be able to get cash on hand to buy Bitcoin, that's a lot of selling that needs to be done, right? So next week, MicroStrategy stock is probably going to tank unless Bitcoin continues to go up, because at this point, MicroStrategy stock is like more like a Bitcoin ETF. Like if we don't have a spot Bitcoin ETF in the US, it's pretty much MicroStrategy, right? It's pretty close. So we have that. And Michael says, well, he's not just buying Bitcoin. He's going to be looking at how to develop solutions for big enterprises to join the Lightning Network, kind of like Jack Mallers with the Strike app. He wants more companies to get involved, not with just buying Bitcoin and holding Bitcoin, but also using Bitcoin, right? So that's, of course, fantastic. We need more of that. Really, we don't hear much about a Lightning Network other than Jack Mallers' Strike. But yeah, it would be fantastic to get more enterprises to actually use it as a network, as a payment gateway, payment rails. What else is there? Well, obviously, I said there was a lot of liquidations, right? If you look in total what has happened within the last few days, we're talking about like $300 million of shorts being liquidated, right? Short squeeze. So if we continue further, we're going to get more short squeeze. But right now, things have steadied out or leveled out, right? And we'll see if we get more this weekend. The weekend is still early. We just hit Saturday, right? Here's an interesting one. 3-day RSI mapping Bitcoin going all the way back to the beginning to 2021. January 2021, you can see a 3-day RSI has been following this descending trend line, right? Are we about to break that? We have not been able to. And if we do break it, very, very positive, of course, moving forward, right? Also, a friendly reminder, even though this year has not ended yet, but the two previous times when we had a pretty bad year, like 2014 when the Bitcoin market cap or Bitcoin's value went down 56%, we had 3 good years afterwards. In 2018, Bitcoin went down 73%. And then guess what? We had 3 good years after that. So right now, we're at negative 57%, right? We're recovering, but not fully. It's a pretty bad year. But, friendly reminder that maybe after this year, we're going to have 3 good years. if we follow history. So bottom line is be patient. Be patient, because those 3 years that follow usually are pretty tremendous. If you look at liquidations, just like when we go in reverse, when Bitcoin goes in reverse, we see liquidations, long liquidations, but this time we see a lot of short liquidations. That's what we want to see, right? You had, kicking things off here, 33 million shorts liquidated, and then 80, and then 51, then 48. You do the math, that's like 200 million right there. 200 million of shorts liquidated, long squeeze. That's what we want to see. But what caused the buy in the first place, right? What caused it? Well, there's a couple of things. Number one, if you're looking at overall market, like today, it's actually a pretty off to a pretty good start. You could see that U.S. market is up about 200 points, NASDAQ up decent amount. But what also is happening is the DXY is starting to come down. It's still very high. I mean, it's still at 108.9, but if you look at where it was even higher, closing in at 111, and now it's starting to come down a little bit. So that's also positive. Whenever we see DXY go down, good things happen. But these things I think they helped, but I think there's a bigger catalyst here, a bigger event that's happening next week that may be the real reason why Bitcoin is going up. And I think you guys know what that event is. If you don't, well, wait for it. I'll tell you. Ford is getting involved with NFTs, creating virtual automobiles and NFTs. I just don't think it's the same, right? Like having an NFT of a F-150 Lightning or an NFT of a Raptor is not the same as driving either one. So I don't know. Stuff like this doesn't really interest me unless you could redeem for a physical car with NFT, right? But I don't think that's going to be the case. But who knows? And the Japanese government also issues NFTs to reward local authorities' work. Again, if you're like a local authority and you're working overtime, and then now you get handed an NFT for your troubles, like, is that really what you want? Just give me some Bitcoin or something instead, right? Rather than NFTs. So yeah, so there's that. If you're looking to buy Bitcoin and crypto for the first time and you don't know where to get started, head over to CryptosRus.com and click on the best exchange guide. Within, you'll find a list of exchanges that I recommend and some that I use on a daily basis. So if you want to learn more, head over to CryptosRus.com or utilize the links in the description of this video.